Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here and welcome back to Tailor Tales. So we can continue on to the next chapter with Neil. I've actually taken like a couple days to like calm my nerves to get ready for this. So later in the evening I get dropped off by a taxi at Angela's apartment. I make my way up the building once I've arrived and ring the doorbell. Angela greets me at the door holding a glass of wine in her hand. Hello, I greet her. You made it, and early too. Come in, come in. Can we actually see her change her dress though? Cause like, you know, the dress we made for ourselves for that like masquerade party crap thing was actually even more beautiful than what we actually create. I'm just praying, honestly. As I enter her apartment, Angela gives me an approving look. Lovely outfit, just right for the occasion. I know I can always count on your impeccable fashion taste. Oh, the check's on the dining table. Go get it while I finish wrapping up dinner. I'm feeling a bit nervous as I walk toward the already set up dining table to retrieve the envelope with the check. And that's also when I notice there aren't just 2 plates set up, there's 3. Angela, is someone else dining with us? I ask her as I grab the envelope. Of course, I hear Angela yell from the kitchen. I open the envelope and take out the check, my eyes watering at the amount written on it. Wow, this is way more than my usual rate. Good evening? I spin around, startled at someone else's voice right behind me. He's so gorgeous. I'm just still so in love with him right now. Neil! I exclaim. Neil's behind me, looking a bit out of place, sitting on the couch, looking like he had no idea I'd be coming as well. I'm also sorry if you guys do hear, like, yard work. I don't know if you guys can hear. Yard work outside. It is, a weekend that I'm recording this, so the neighbors like to do a lot of yard work, and it's really loud. Oh, jeez. That's not beautiful for recording whatsoever, and it's not like I can tell them to shut up. So I'll be back when my neighbors are done. Alright guys, I think they went around the other side of the house to do their yard, so I'm okay right now. Neil's behind me, looking a bit out of place, sitting on the couch, looking like he had no idea I'd be coming as well. I grind my teeth. She set this up, didn't she? Good evening, I reply hesitantly. Last time I saw Neil, he bolted right out of my store after saying he didn't hate me. I'm not quite sure where we stand right now, but all I know is that this is awkward as hell. Dinner's almost ready, Angela yells. Would you like to sit down? Neil asks, and he gestures towards the dining table. I'm a bit wary of this very polite Neil, but I nod my head anyways. Neil walks past me, his cologne lingers behind and it's making me feel a bit lightheaded, and he pulls out one of the chairs for me. This is weird. I take a seat anyway, and I'm feeling very self-conscious all of a sudden. What's his deal? Neil takes a seat as well, at the opposite end of the dining table. Now I feel like I'm forced to look at him, which is something I really do not want. The more I'm around Neil, the more I start to feel confused, and the flashbacks of the masquerade plague my mind. Things like kissing Neil. I look down at my napkin, feeling heat rush to my cheeks. Why does Neil have to be here? Luckily, Angela barges back into the room, carrying a large pot with her. I welcome the distraction, considering my mind was going places I didn't want it to go. Angela is quick to set up the food, and it really does smell delicious. We all dig in. I'd like to say that dinner went well, but unfortunately it didn't really. I was only half paying attention and listening to Angela talk about her time in Italy, and notice how her glasses of wine multiplied. Very soon she's drunk and starts to slur her words, giggling whenever she recalls something funny. Neil hadn't said a word the entire time. Oh man, she looks like she does look really drunk here. You should have seen him. He was such a wimp. Then again, he still is, says Angela. I'm barely paying attention, looking at my plate of food. Who? I ask. Nellie, of course. Neil finally makes his presence known and he sighs in response. Angela, you're drunk. Please don't embarrass me any further. We call him Nellie back then, and by we, I mean me, she said, sounding very proud. Nellie was always afraid of standing up to his parents, the silly little boy. So I told him, your really cool aunt will beat them up for you. You can't possibly embarrass me any further than this. Please stop talking. And did you? I asked, ignoring Neil. No, of course not. I was like 14 years old. Instead, I convinced Nellie to run away. It was actually quite funny. They had cops looking for him all over the place. Oh boy, were his parents mad when they found Nellie. Suddenly my interest is piqued. Angela is talking about the time Neil ran away when he was young, isn't she? The time when I found him at the playground. I steal a glance at Neil and can see he's trying to hide his face behind his hand, covering his rosy cheeks. If it weren't such an awkward situation, I'd call it adorable. So I asked Nellie, where'd you go? Right? And then he tells me how a hero found him. A hero? Like Superman? I'm not sure, the details are a bit fuzzy. Neil sinks into his chair even further, his hand now covering his entire face. He wouldn't shut up about it, how a hero, like in one of his favorite comics, came to save him, and they both ran away from the police. I was actually quite jealous. I was gonna say quite super jealous, but, because I used to be the one Nellie looked up to. The cool one, but I guess boys grow up. I lean in a bit closer. So this hero that you mentioned, do you know who it is? Angela throws her hands up in the air. Beats me! All Nellie would say was that he was some really cool boy, way cooler than me. You were such a little shit back then. Oh my god, she directs this last part towards Neil. Honestly though, it sounded like he had a crush on him. Was he your childhood love, Nellie? Oh my god, was Nellie gonna roll that way for me, my boyish version? Neil's face scrunches up and he turns bright red. Angela, that's enough! Well, that's a turn of events. Is that true? I ask of Neil. Of course not, he barks at me. Don't confuse adoration with infatuation. I feel myself blush. He adored me. But I guess his parents got super mad at him because Nellie hasn't run off since. Where's you're a hero now, huh? Angela scoffs. She finally gets up from the table. I'm getting some more wine. You want some? No, I'm good, I respond. Angela wobbles away towards the kitchen. The sound of glass clinking and doors opening can be heard loudly, and I briefly wonder if Angela has tripped and fallen down. Tease him about you being a hero? I didn't know you looked up to me so much. No, I didn't know you looked up... Yeah, that. I didn't know you looked up to me so much. It must have been an important memory to you. Neil bashfully looks away, like he doesn't really want to admit this. It's nothing, he denies. It's in the past. Is that why you said I ruined your memories? I ask, looking curiously at him. Because it wasn't a hero, but a heroine? 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 Neil looks away while crossing his arms across his chest. It doesn't matter now. I guess not. I bite my lip. But clearly it bothered you. Before we can even continue our conversation, Angela is back with another wine glass. She eagerly shares some of Nellie's memories, all the while Neil stays silent. I crack a smile every now and then. The relationship is actually quite lovely with the amount of times Angela has stuck up for Neil. Time ticks by fast, and before I know it, it's getting close to midnight, and Angela is passed out on the couch. I end up clearing the dining table, gathering all the dishes, and walking into the kitchen. Neil helps me out without saying a word. After we finish, I finally break the silence. Should we leave her like that? She'll be okay. She's had worse. I'll carry her to bed. Carry her to her bed, sorry. I wonder just how many nights Neil has experienced just like this one. Well then, I guess I'll be heading home. Neil picks Angela up from the couch, who groans in response but is otherwise fast asleep. He carries her over to the bedroom and I patiently await his return. I turn off the lights. Should I walk you home? Neil asks when he's back. My first instinct is to say no, but in the dark, close to Neil like this, I can feel myself wanting to stay around him for a little while longer. Sure, I say. Oh, sure, okay. Oh, it's snowing? Oh, right, the holidays are quicker in this game. We leave the apartment together. Snow is falling quietly all around us. There is not a single other person in sight, but that makes sense seeing as it's past midnight. Neil opens up an umbrella and walks next to me to shield us from the snow. He's so close to me, but it's not awkward at all. Are your hands alright? Neil asks me. Yes. Are your hands alright? I look at my red hands and stuff them inside of the pockets of my coat. I'm fine. I can withstand a little snow. We're quiet for a while, both walking silently on the sidewalk. I know where I live is quite far, and a taxi would have been much easier, but I guess I didn't want to leave Neil just yet. I swing my purse back and forth, wondering what to say. Have you seen Angela's dress? I ask. The one I made. She hasn't been keeping it a secret exactly. Neil shakes his head a little. Well, that's Angela for you. Likes the attention, I'd say with a smile. Always has. You two seem close since you're kids. I feel like if I keep talking like this, then I won't notice how I feel. I won't notice how I feel my heartbeat faster now that Neil's walking closer to me. Yes, she's always been bossy over me. She's got her quirks and faults, but she can be quite lovely. I can see him smile as he recalls some memories. She's always been there for me, like an older sister. I admit, my first impression of Angela wasn't very favorable, just some crazy drunk, but she's grown on me since then. Neil keeps quiet once more and I realize why. I met Angela for the first time at the masquerade party, the subject that we've both been avoiding, like it's taboo. And just like that, we'd spend the entire way in complete silence. Oh, it's snowing here too, how pretty. When we arrive at my store, I feel relieved that I don't have to stick around in this suffocating silence anymore. I stop at my front door and then turn to face him. He closes the umbrella and shakes it to remove any snow still on it. We're safe from the snow underneath the awning of my store. You didn't have to walk me back the entire way, but thanks. Neil looks deep in thought and doesn't respond besides a simple nod. Well, good night then. I feel briefly disappointed that nothing happened the entire time. But, I mean, you were silent the entire time, so you can't be, like, upset about it. What was I even expecting? I don't know. Sorry, says Neil in a tiny voice. I raise my eyebrows at him, and when I ask him what he's apologizing for, in fact, I'm quite shocked he even has that word in his vocabulary. I didn't think Neil could ever utter the word sorry. For mistaking you as a boy, he says, and for my subsequent reaction and attitude afterwards once we met up again by chance. I lean against the cold door frame. You mean being an asshole? Neil huffs and glares at me, but it quickly vanishes from his face. Yes. He lets out a deep sigh. I was embarrassed that I met someone from so long ago, someone that I might have looked up to, and that someone turned out not to be the rough boy I imagined, but a beautiful woman instead. Eyes widen. I can't help it. My face flushes red at the abrupt compliment. I wasn't expecting that. I lashed out to hide my embarrassment, and for that I apologized. Wow. I didn't know you had it in you to apologize. I'm actually quite floored, so much that I fanned my face a little to cool it down despite the cold weather. Neil growls at me. Don't test my patience. I recall a conversation we had a couple of months ago when he said he only cares what a select few people had to say, or have to say. So he looked up to me. I mused. What about now? Am I one of those people whose opinion of you that matters? It's Neil whose eyes widen this time. Even though it's hard to see in the dark, he doesn't answer me. That's a no, huh? I guess that's why you pranked me that night. I didn't prank you, Neil hisses. He shakes his head, then starts to quickly pace back and forth at my doorstep. He seems quite shaken up. I simply begins and stops to look at me. He's gesturing with his hands, but doesn't quite know how to start. It's weird to see Neil at a loss of words like this. When I realized that you had no blubbering idea who I was, that you mistook some other man for me, I went along, alright? Why? Why? Why, though? I whisper. Neil throws his hands up in the air, then runs them through his hair, grabbing a fistful. I just liked how you were treating me when you thought I was someone else. You weren't trying to be snarky with me. You weren't so tense and on guard around me. We weren't having some petty argument. We were simply normal. That's all there is to it. He is so gorgeous! I'm just falling in love right now. I take a moment to collect my thoughts. So Neil says he wasn't pulling a prank on me during the party. He simply kept the facade going on because he liked how I was treating him when I thought he wasn't Neil. I remember back at the party how I realized that I was acting awful towards the person that I mistook as Neil, and how I must have been treating Neil all this time. But whose fault is it in the first place that I acted like this? No, I could have been nicer. I didn't have to play along with him. I guess I haven't exactly treated you fair as well. There may have been moments where I took the opportunity to be nasty to him as well, but Neil's the one who basically started it. Why should I treat a jerk like him with respect and dignity when he hasn't shown me any in return? But he did it like that because that's his defense mechanism, and it's bad, but you know, sometimes you just gotta be super nice. But Neil, can't talk. But Neil, I treated him differently because he hasn't been a jerk to me yet. When someone treats me with kindness, I do the same. When someone treats me like I'm dirt under his shoes, guess what you expect from me? I haven't treated you like dirt, he grumbles. I glare at him. No. Sometimes you treated me even worse. Remember that time when I ran into you in front of the cafe? What was that all about? I don't deserve that kind of treatment. Neil turns his head away, most likely because he knows I'm right. He starts, but then swallows the rest of his words, like he's not able to express his thoughts again. I was having a stressful day at work back then. Everyone around me continued to make one mistake after the other and worsen the situation. So when I saw you, I lost my temper. Neil bites down his lip and lowers his head, averting his eyes away from me. I know it's not an excuse, he admits. Again, I apologize for my behavior. He then looks me in the eye. It's an honest look, like he's finally looking at me without any barriers up. He closes the gap between us. My eyes widen as he steps into my personal space. I press against my own door, trapped between it and Neil. He places his hand against the door next to my face. Holy crap, what's going on? I feel my heart throb. He looks at me with an intense and longing gaze. I lose my control around you. Oh, you're so cute! I can't. I'm literally hiding my face. His voice rings through my ears and my knees just about turn into jelly. Neil's eyes flicker down towards my lips, and he slowly moves in closer. I can't deny it. I want to kiss him. I want to kiss him is what I want to say, but that's not the dialogue. I want him to kiss me, so I don't move an inch when Neil closes the distance between us and presses his lips against mine. Feelings from that one fateful night come rushing back to me when our lips touch. His lips are cold from the snow, but they're full of life. That's cute, full of life. I respond to the touch, lightly sucking on his lips and pressing myself closer to his body. I focus on the warm feeling of his plump... all his descriptiveness. His plump lips, they're just as addicting as first time. Neil's arms sneak around my waist and he pulls me into an intimate embrace. I feel helpless and overrun by my emotions, who want nothing more than to continue kissing Neil. The kiss is rough and clumsy, like we both can't get enough, and my mouth feels sore after just a few seconds. Neil dominantly presses me against the door, and the doorknob digs into my back. Ow! I break free from his lips just long enough to open my door, and we both stumble inside. When did I unlock that? Whatever. The bell of the store jingles, but neither of us pay attention to it. I pull Neil closer to me after he slams the door shut. I can hear my heart pleading for those lips again. I lean forward myself to catch his lips. My tongue slips inside and I connect with Neil's. My entire body shivers, but it isn't me that moans, it's Neil. Oh, that's cute! That's like a cute surprise. It's cute because I didn't expect. Okay, whatever. It's muffled, but oh my god, that's so hot. My knees spontaneously turn into jelly. Neil's arms keep me upright, and soon enough I find myself pressed against the counter. Desperately, I struggle to take my coat off, and Neil does the same. Our coats lay forgotten on the ground. I place my hands on top of Neil's shoulder, not breaking away from his tongue, just giving myself a boost to sit on the counter. I wrap my legs around Neil's waist and twist my tongue around his. Neil grunts loudly and his hands are running over my back until they're tangled within my hair. His tongue is now pushed inside my mouth like he's battling for dominance over me, but I push back just as hard. The chemistry between us is undeniable, and in this moment, we just seem like a perfect fit together. He is so red. Neil breaks away from me, and I immediately want to pull him back because I miss his warmth. He gives me a longing look while he takes a second to catch his breath. Then he's Then he's back. A hand wraps around the side of my neck, and soon Neil's lips are on the other side, sucking the sensitive patch of skin there. I harshly suck in a breath and claw my fingers on his back. His hair tickles my cheek and lips brush. My cheek and my lips brush against the tip of his ear. I can feel Neil leaving a trail of kisses on my neck, and I am once more gasping for air. Maybe this is what could have happened if we weren't interrupted at the party that night. More. I want more. 'Cause I am selfish as hell. Feeling more aggressive, I place my hands on the side of Neil's face to bring him back up to mine, and I press my lips against his. Oh snap! This scene! I didn't know there was gonna be a picture, holy crap. Adult romance, guys. He is so cute! I just love this new Neil look. I lower my body a bit, pushing away any objects on the counter, and I pull Neil along until my back is touching the cold end of the counter. And Neil is practically on top of me. I love the feeling of his weight on me, and I keep him locked in place by embracing him with my arms. But it's not like Neil is showing any indication he wants to leave, because he's breathing and squirming on top of me while letting out little gasps of air as he continues to kiss me. It's like uncharted territory, both of us exploring what the other has to offer. Our bodies are hot to the touch, and this is starting to go down a dangerous path. Did I not already went in a dangerous path, first of all? Neil nibbles on the bottom of my lip, and any doubt I may have had just fly right out the window. He kisses me like he's hungry for more, like he's unable to stop himself. His lips are so hot on mine. I can't believe this is really Neil, devouring me like it's the last night on Earth. Stinky pretty. By accident, my elbow knocks something over from the counter, sending it crashing to the ground. The sun has interrupted us both as we're finally apart and sitting up straight, but Neil doesn't pull back all the way, keeping an arm locked around my waist. It seemed to have been an umbrella Neil was carrying that knocked off the counter. Blasted umbrella. We look at each other for a while, both a little bit out of breath. I curse the umbrella in my mind. His arm finally slips away from my waist and my body tenses up, longing to feel his touch again. We should, Neil starts in this really sexy voice. Probably stop. Neil bends down to pick up the umbrella, and he keeps it close to his body. Immediately I want to protest and ask him why in the world I would want this to stop. But the more seconds pass where we're not sucking off each other's face, the more time I have for it to sink in. And I realize I've just been heavily making out with Neil. Only hours before I could have sworn I was mad at him, and only seconds ago he was on top of me. I sheepishly nod at him, wiping away any saliva near my mouth. All of a sudden I feel embarrassed for acting the way I did. Neil finally steps away from me and picks up his coat from the floor. I feel even more awkward now, sitting on top of the counter, so I slip off the edge and stand on my feet as well. I should go home now. Have a good night, Michiko. Neil starts to leave. No, kiss him. What? Option there? Yes, please. I grab his shirt and quickly press my lips against his. I really don't want him to leave, but if he feels he must, I want one last kiss before the spell is broken. And I start freaking out about the entire thing. He leans in closer and gently responds to my kiss by moving his lips in sync with mine. This time I'm the one who stops. Good night, Neil, I say. Neil gives me the tiniest nod and then finally leaves the store. I sink down to the floor with my back against the counter and groan out loud in frustration. Wow! That was pretty amazing. That was pretty amazing. I don't know if the next chapter is short or not. So, we're gonna stop here because if it's as long as this chapter, I don't want to chance it and have like a super long episode. But anyway, that was beautiful. I really wish there was like an option where I can look at the gallery and like see that picture forever. Oh, it's here. The option's here. And it's so oh my god, I love him so much. I just really love this haircut on him. It's better than the purple in my opinion, because I don't know, I'm not digging the purple. I'm really digging this like black hair, and I should probably pick this picture. He looks stunning here. I just love Neil so much, and I'm praying that his route is like complete So that way I'm not gonna be left on a cliffhanger, because I have no idea when this game is gonna be like officially completed off with all the other guys, because there's lots of. Where are they? All right there. Oh, Dimitri. Dimitri is like Dimitri is my precious little guy. Like, he's not little, but he's taller than me. But we can't even get to these guys because their story hasn't been made yet. But I feel like praying Niels is done, and I can just fall in love with him temporarily until everybody else is complete, whenever that may be. But anyway, blubbered on enough. Thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.